Support for this podcast and the following message come from Broadway in Fort Lauderdale. Two worlds collide in Rodgers and Hammerstein's The King and I. Hailed as breathtaking and exquisite by the New York Times, the musical is based on the 2015 Tony Award-winning Lincoln Center Theater production. The King and I boasts a score that features such beloved classics as Getting to Know You, Something Wonderful, and Shall We Dance. Don't miss The King and I at the Broward Center, November 20th through December 2nd. Tickets at browardcenter.org.
Christmas, everybody. Now, fuck me, wrong holiday. Happy Halloween, Metal Faithful. That's the one we're up to. It's Halloween tonight as we're recording this here on the Metal Hammer of Doom. I am your mixed up mix of a host, Mr. Mark Radulich. And to celebrate All Hallows Eve, like metalers do, we're going to look at Trick or Treat, a band from Modena, Italy, if I recall correctly. Yes, no, maybe so. Yes.
Sure.
Shut up. Modena, Italy. A power metal band, Trick or Treat. They released a covers album earlier this year called Reanimated, which, as I've been told, is a bunch of anime cover songs that were popular in Italy. So it may say Batman. It don't sound like no Batman to me. That's okay.
Batman.
It's Batman.
It's everybody's favorite anime, Batman.
They
just released one of those.
Those voices you hear, of course, the Metal Coop, Robert Cooper. How you doing, sir?
I am all right. I am almost as awesome as the theme song for King Arthur and the Knights of Justice.
Terrific. That other voice you heard is the disapproving dad, whose wife and has something in common with my wife. Neither one of them were able to stay upright during this Halloween season. A little more on that in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Kerosene Bob, Jesse Starcher. How you doing, sir?
I'm grinding this podcast to a halt right now by not Englishing good. No, listen. I'm grinding it to a halt right now, all right? Stay still. You have something to answer for, and by golly, I hope this works. So hold on just one moment here. One of our favorite music platforms also hosts some podcasts. So there you go. Mark Radulich, get us the hell out of here so you can go to bed.
Did you let that Ghostbusters car crash?
The fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. I may have been hallucinating just now.
Are you serious, dude?
Did you just get numb?
Are you serious?
I just like, not Slimer. I don't want to get slimed.
I was very tired.
I still, to this day, have, well, it's only been a week, but I have been reciting the story of how Mark hallucinated on a podcast last week. And it's probably one of the greatest stories I've told in quite a while.
What has been the general consensus when you tell the story?
It's either, oh, that's funny. Nobody seems interested. I don't know why, because I think it's the funniest thing I've ever heard. I did get to hear an interesting story from a friend of ours from Kapow, the Pop Culture Podcast. I talked to him Sunday, told him the same that. Well, I relayed the events to him. He had actually told me a story about how he fell asleep at work But in the midst of falling asleep, he was in the middle of typing a memo, and he proceeded to type out what he was dreaming.
Nice.
Which is crazy. He said he started like typing about how this one guy was like, there was a big conspiracy against him. He wakes up and realizes what he has typed, and to this day he thanks God that he did not hit the button.
So we're going to get to the music in just a minute, and boy, is there a lot of it. But I just want to, since it is Halloween, I wanted to talk with Jesse and Rob about how they spent All Hallows Eve. We took we went to the Richie Rich neighborhood where my in-laws live and took the kids trick-or-treating. My daughter told everybody that she was a mermaid princess. My son told everybody that he was Bowser from the Mario Brothers games. And then my nephew, we decided next year needs to go as a home inspector because he kept walking into everyone's house.
Nice. How old is he?
He's 2, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, okay, that's cool. I was going to say we might have an issue if he's like 16 or something. I don't know.
Where's the soda at? Where are the bitches? But no, he's 2 years old. And he thought Halloween meant he got to go into everyone's house and go like through the refrigerator or some shit. I don't know. My kids were less interested in the candy and more interested in telling everyone what their costumes were. This was always a thing every time they went up to the house. So that's how I. Oh, and here's how I spent my Halloween. Right, I took the day off of work. I watched Halloween 2 again. Then we did an on trial for it. It's in the archives. You can go and listen to it when you're done with this podcast. And then I went to the heart doctor, Jesse Starcher.
Boy.
And the heart doctor said my EKG was good, my blood pressure was good, everything was good. He said the only problem is you're fat, you should lose weight. I had to hear that from the doctor today, as if I didn't already know.
Yeah. Fucking Captain Obvious with a white fucking coat on.
Yes.
Like, well, hey. I mean, if they didn't tell you, you'd be like, wait, where's it at? It's like a Garfield comic I read once where John was like, it's a lot of, always, every time I eat, there's going to be a cat hair in my food. Let me show you. And then it's him digging through the lasagna and Garfield at the end being like, oh, I forgot to put this in here. I feel like if you went to the heart doctor and they didn't say something like you need to lose weight, because that's what they say to everybody, I think. Like, I think it would be more of a problem. Like, you'd just be like, wait, where's this declaration that I already knew?
Well, it's like I almost feel like he thinks I'm going to react like Peter Griffin on Family Guy. He was like, wait, I'm fat? Me? And then he's like, here, let me show you. And then he's going to throw like an apple and a notepad or something, and it's all going to orbit around me. Like, I get it. I know.
Ouch.
I've put it's a Family Guy joke. I'm aware of my condition and that it needs to be corrected. But despite the fact that I'm morbidly obese, apparently I'm also heart healthy. I don't know how I managed that, but I had a good. He's just like, yep, come back in a year. I don't need to see you again for another year. I'm like, terrific.
Nice.
Nice. You in hell.
So then, drove to the in-laws. We had hot dogs and tater tots at the Richie Rich in-laws, and then we took the kids around. And it's funny, when I was a kid, like, I don't remember. I don't know how far back I can remember trick-or-treating, but I remember the memories I do have. We would conquer the fucking neighborhood, man. Yeah, I was telling my sister-in-law, like, my friends and I went trick-or-treating by ourselves. We would conquer the neighborhood, plant a flag, and burn the crops. We went everywhere. There was no, we would go for hours. Like, we had to be called home. I remember one Halloween, like, my mom sent the cops out looking for me because she was like, when are you coming back? Like, I was gone for so long. My kids, now granted, they're 7 going on 8, 4, and, my nephew's 2 years old. And they made it once around the block, and they're just like, oh, so long. Yeah. So, they're just like, Dad, it took less time for Frodo to get to Mordor. They didn't say that, but that's how they were acting. And they were like, we got to go inside. It was like 7 o'clock when when they just fucking threw in the towel. Like, y'all a bunch of wimps.
No kidding.
Damn millennials.
That's right. I drove them home, and they put them to bed. Jesse, how was your Halloween?
Very similar. We'll just put it that way. My sister and Justin Thomas, the Invisible One himself, usually come over, hang out with us. Now this year,
Are your sister and Justin Thomas a couple?
Yes, they are.
Oh, okay.
And so they came over, and we also had a lot of Mindy's family come over. We live in the more upscale part of Marietta, or the suburb, or whatever you call it. You know, it's not very big. It's
Marietta? You live in Langford.
I mean, Langford. Sorry, my bad. Trying to throw people off the scent here. But yeah. So we had Mindy's family come over as well. So they brought all their kids, and we just took off down there. Now, here's the deal, Mark Radulich. Florida, I don't know what the weather was like down there Halloween, but up here, it was just about 50 degrees and pissing down the rain.
No, sir.
Yay.
No,
yeah.
It was bright and sunny, and it was 90 degrees when I left the doctor's at 5 o'clock and drove to my in-laws.
No. It was rainy, it was nasty, and it was miserable. It wasn't as miserable as last year for some reason, because we had pretty much the same weather. But yeah, so that kind of hampered the kids getting out there and getting their candy, and they also tired of it. It's so much like your story. An hour into it, Caleb's like, come on, can we go back? He lasted a little bit longer than Colton, because Colton was asking that way earlier. And we seriously made it around one block. And Caleb dresses up as this, like, a picture Ghostface from the Scream movies, all right? But he has a mask that's like this big skull. And other than that, it's just some cheap-ass black, like, fabric covering him. Well, 10 minutes in, he's like, here, Dad, hold my mask. I'm like, you look like a judge. And that's about it. That's it. You do not look anything scary. There's nothing scary here. Colton was Captain America, and, of course, his mask had to either go up on top of his head or come off.
Okay. Can I stop you right there?
Absolutely.
Can you and I make a pact as fathers to not let our sons wear masks next year?
I think that's a good idea.
Whatever costume, we need to make a pledge to each other to not let the other one let this happen. Because my son was Bowser. I don't think he wore the mask once we bought the fucking thing. Okay? And here's the thing. Even if he wanted to wear the mask, even if he never wanted to take it off, even if he wanted to sleep in it, the way things are now, you can't wear it at Disney. He couldn't wear it on the cruise. He's not allowed to wear it in school. And then he didn't want to wear it trick-or-treating. What the fuck was the point of buying this stupid mask?
Exactly. Yeah, I say we just go makeup next year. The kids got to figure out some way of doing makeup. They can't take that shit off. I'm not holding your makeup, okay? It's staying on your face. Because that's, I took my backpack with me because I was like, I know I'm going to be holding half these kids' costumes before I get home.
I told Jonas, and next year Caleb and Colton, same thing. Whatever costume you pick out, no mask. You got to figure you got to be Han Solo or some shit because you're not wearing a fucking mask.
There we go. Smart moves.
All right, Mr. Lonely Hearts. All right, Jesse, anything else about your Halloween?
No. It was very, very boring. We got lots of candy. I ate a bunch of it, and that's about it.
All right. Just Lonely Hearts, hit it.
Well, I went to a Halloween party on Saturday with a girl that had previously already ghosted me. And then I figured out halfway through that she was just trying to hook me up with her friend that she brought. I was like, this was not what I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, her friend was all right. She's got on my nerves. She's really nosy. She's like, is the guitar player pregnant up there? I'm like, no. She's like, I gotta go find out. We're like, nobody cares.
There's no reason to go do that.
But yeah, so that was a thing. And then I spent the day watching some skeezy looking dudes clean up some like cut trees and shit in my backyard.
Now that sounds exciting.
Oh yeah. And the funny thing about that Halloween party is it was like it was a concert venue, so I was like, I got to get a costume. But I didn't realize Halloween costumes are goddamn expensive.
Yeah, they are.
Damn.
It was like $40, and I was like, this thing is cheap as shit. So I got an executioner costume without the axe. So when anybody have ever asked me, what are you? I had two answers. Either A, I am a low-rent, bottom-tier NPC from a fantasy novel that died on page 2. Or I am the porn version of the mountain from Game of Thrones. Game of Bones. Called the Foothill.
Boom.
I think next year I want to get a denim vest and wear blue jeans and walk around and just tell people I'm the one-man gang.
That's awesome.
That's my costume for next year. I'm planning.
Nice.
This year I just walked around in shorts and my t-shirt, my Halloween t-shirt I got from the cruise. All right, Coop, let me go back to you for a second. Tell me what this album's all about, because it confused the fuck out of me. Voltron sounds familiar. Batman did not. Gem did not. None of the rest of this sounded at all familiar to me. And some of this I wouldn't have known even if I've never watched like Pokemon or anything like that. So some of the stuff I wouldn't have known anyway. But so a lot of this, it's supposed to be covers, but none of it sounds familiar, and a lot of it's in Italian. What the fuck, Cooper? Explain.
Well, I mean, this is what I imagine this album is, because I did no prior research, and I just am going off of what little I know about other countries and their children's shows. So anime was actually very popular in parts of France, Italy, and a lot of like South America, especially like Brazil. So what this album seems to me is it is the Italian covers for a lot of these cartoons and anime, but kind of like how we had our own, because we had our own American covers. Like theme of the Pokemon that you've heard before is definitely not the Japanese one. We just made an American one because it's more American.
That's right. Yep.
So this is, because I actually don't know what this one, David Giorno Amica Mio. I have no idea what that is.
I think that's
so
David. Say that again.
David Nomo Amica Mio.
I think that is David the Gnome. It wasn't
I've
that
never heard of
David. I think it's David the Gnome. I'm gonna look it up, but go ahead.
Okay, because at most of these I have at least cursory knowledge, or I've straight up watched the show and like it. It's just I didn't know this version of it was. We'll get into it, but this album is what I probably see as these guys covering some of their favorite songs from their childhood.
All right,
just giving them a metal twist.
Well, let's get into it. We're gonna do now. There's a lot of tracks on here, fairly lengthy tracks, as a matter of fact. We're gonna play 3 at a time, and then we'll talk about each one in kind, and then we'll play another 3 until we get through this, so that way we're not here for 12 hours. And then I start fucking hallucinating again.
It ought to be fun.
I would like to avoid hallucinating tonight, if I can help it. All right, so here we go. The first round here. Okay, we've got Voltron, Batman, and Cinque Samurai. Here we go.
From days of long ago, from uncharted regions of the universe, comes a legend. The legend of Voltron, defender of the universe.
Questi siamo noi, cinque samurai, sempre per la libertà contro la malvagità. Questi siamo noi, cinque samurai, il pericolo si sa, ci rincorrerà, ma non ci impaurirà. Non siamo samurai, samurai. Cinque samurai, tutti uniti lotteremo e insieme vinceremo. Cinque samurai, i nemici affronteremo con coraggio, tu lo sai.
Okie dokie. Smokey. Robert Cooper. Explain the Batman. Explain the Batman one to me. The Voltron, very familiar. That's exactly the theme that I can recall from back when I was a kid. And I was a huge Voltron fan back in the day. Voltron, Thundercats, He-Man, it was all the shit back then. You know, Transformers #1, all three of those tie for #2, in my opinion. G.I. Joe, #3. But, so, like, Voltron I got. I have no idea what they're going on about with that Batman song. That's no Batman I've ever heard, and I don't know what a Sinkei Samurai is.
Oh, I can explain, because I looked up these. Some of them I could just recognize, like, I'll tell you as they go.
Okay.
Like when I looked at them. So Batman, I've never heard it before myself, and it really threw me off because I was like, oh, we're just gonna. I was expecting like, I've heard. I guess
I was expecting
this album without realizing these guys were Italian.
Okay, I was expecting Batman the Animated Series. That was not that.
Same here.
Well, I mean, apparently this, from what I'm going to gather, is this must have been the Italian theme for Batman. Just looking at, like, you know, when the date of a lot of these shows, most of these shows are 90s, shows that were really big in the 90s and released in the 90s. So that's what I'm going to imagine, is that this is their, you know, just Italian Batman and not the porno.
But I'm assuming, but what you're saying is this is Batman the Animated Series. It just had a different theme to it.
Yes, I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure. Then Sinkei Samurai is actually the theme for not Saint Seiya. That's later. It is for.
Is it the Five Samurai? Is that what Sinkei stands for? Is 5?
Yes,
Okay,
I'm just trying to remember what.
Ronin Warriors.
Yeah, it is Ronin Warriors. I'm trying to remember what the show was called in Japan, and it's just like, do not know why.
Legendary Armor Samurai Troopers.
Yes. Yeah,
at least that's what I'm coming up with the wiki here for Ronin Warriors. Known in Japan as Legendary Armor Samurai Troopers.
Yeah.
Yororin Samurai Trooper.
Which is all on.
Was that supposed to be Italian?
Actually,
that was Japanese.
That's the Japanese show, dude. But it's actually funny. The original is on actually streaming on Crunchyroll. The Ronin Warriors dub of it, I think, was only available for like a small window in like 2006. But like every time I've tried to find the DVD, it's like $200 on eBay. I mean, Ronin Warriors is a pretty solid show. I really, really enjoy that, and of course, Batman the Animated Series goes without saying. I think it's just really interesting listening to these different interpretations.
Yeah,
I wish I had the opening, I guess the intro to go with it, just to kind of match the images to it. Maybe if I had with some translation.
We're coming in. This is our last covers album, isn't it, Mark?
Yes. Yeah. After this, we're done with this month.
Yeah. What I've thought, what I've noticed is that a lot of times when we listen to the cover, whether it be stuff off this album or any of the previous albums, I'm like, man, I would have loved to have listened to the original just to see what their take is on it. If they're adding way more flair, which usually they are, I think that each one of these songs as we go through this album really stand out musically. I mean, Trick or Treat knows their shit when it comes to playing some stuff, but I don't know. Is that general enough for you? Playing some stuff, but
instrument good.
They played them their instruments, so
they have them their guitar leaks.
But it's interesting to hear this stuff because I have no clue as to what's they're either trying to cover. If they're covering something, it's almost all brand new to me. The Voltron stuff, the thing is you guys know Voltron so well, which, by the way, great job on the Voltron season whatever you guys just did. I listened to that there, I think, last week. And, I'm catching up on all my podcasts. But
I was going to say, when did we do that?
That was a while back.
We're about ready for the new one. Good. Way to stay on it.
I'm on it.
Oh, the good thing about the Voltron intro is I'm pretty sure they took the Toonami intro with Peter Cullen voicing it.
Yes.
Okay.
Which was so cool because I'm like kind of a fanboy for Toonami in a way.
I was going to say if you just played that cold without telling me that it was from it was Trick or Treat playing it, I would assume that was the old Voltron theme, including the voiceover.
And I'm sitting over here, not watched one episode of either the new series or the old series.
Oh, Jesse Starcher, you are a derelict parent. Then you need to sit your boys down and make them watch Voltron. And when your oldest one's like, "Dad, this is boring," you hit him upside the fucking head, okay? And you tell him this is some of the best television ever produced. All right?
Okay, sure.
Which one, the original?
No, the new one.
I know, I'm just messing with you because, like, the original, like, I have a lot of love for '80s combining robot anime. Which, funny story, I don't know if I think I told this story on the original Voltron podcast, but one of my favorite things to do in community college was when people would bring up Power Rangers, because that's my shit. I would get somebody...
Hang on real quick. My daughter apparently is into some new Power Rangers. I'll let you continue your story, but just give me half a second. So the other day, I was annoyed about something that was going on in the house, and my wife had pissed me off about something, so I was just stewing. And in the middle of my stewing, my daughter needs to tell me that she's discovered a new fucking show. And I'm like, all right, what nonsense are you watching now? And she's like, it's Power Rangers, but it's not the Power Rangers you know. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, all right, that doesn't tell me anything. There's 900 different Power Rangers.
I was about to say, you should have called me for this one.
Yeah, I was just like, you know what? Like, shut up, Lily. Talk to Robert Cooper. He knows about this stuff. But she was going on and on about it, and I'm like, all right, I'm trying to be like a good dad and not, and not just
shit on it,
right? And I'm trying to listen to her and not let my what's going on in my own head affect the fact that she's trying to bond with me by telling me about this new show that she likes. So I'm trying to be patient, and now I'm starting to ask questions. I'm like, okay, I know that of all the Power Ranger shows, the Zords turn into different things. Some are dinosaurs, some are animals, some are whatever, some are ninjas. I'm like, I asked a simple question, Robert Cooper. What do the Zords turn into? And she looked at me like I had shit coming out of my mouth. And I'm like, and she's like, wait, what? And then my wife tried to translate. She's like, what do the robots turn into? And she couldn't answer the question. Like, you're watching the show. What do you like? Am I missing something here? Or are there shows where the Zords don't turn into shit?
Which show? Which one was it?
I don't know. She's sleeping. Want me to go wake her up?
No, please don't. Okay. Well, I'm trying to think of what she could have run across, because if it's the new series, Ninja Steel, that Japanese series, Ninja was poo poo.
Okay, that might be it. That might be it. By the way.
Yeah. It's probably the new one. So what it is, it's a drag. I remember the blue one's a dragon. The red one's like a humanoid robot, actually. And then the other three are just inconsequential Japanese and, just kind of mythical Japanese creatures.
Yeah, well,
I'll have to look it up.
She thinks this show is the fucking shit, by the way.
I mean, you know what? Like, that's cool. If she ever needs some like suggestions for good seasons, I got it.
She's too young for you, buddy. Keep it in your pants.
Dude,
calm the fuck down.
You just made this weird. That's my job, dude. I'm just trying to I'm sorry. You just said that like your daughter's getting into one of my favorite things, so I'm just trying to share.
Stop hitting on my 7-year-old daughter. She's way too young for you. Jesse Starcher. No, you were telling a story.
I
Go
wouldn't
ahead.
teach kids. This sounds really creepy.
Jesse Starcher. No, that's the second fucking time I've done that. All right.
Do it again.
You were telling it. Nope. You were telling a story, Robert Cooper. Hit it.
Yeah. Oh, damn it, Maki. So, anywho, when I just bring up Power Rangers, like, I remember there was a time I found a fucking Power Rangers VHS tape from, like, Salvation Army, and I'm like, guys, check this out. An ancient relic from the past. And some noob just pops in being like, oh, they just ripped off Voltron. And that is when I had I got my know-it-all glasses.
Yeah, technically.
I was like, well, actually, sir, the giant robot, the giant commanding robot was created in the 70s. Like, like just me going, and I'm like, besides, they had combining robots in Tokusatsu before Voltron. And they were just like, well, no, it was a ripoff. I'm like, all right. And I pulled out my computer and I'm like, own this, bitch.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I was total just fucking jackass.
My favorite that's a ripoff story is when I was working in a children's home, like kids who had been removed from their home, like mostly teenagers. They'd been removed from their home. They failed out of foster care. They starting to pick up charges, so they were in a behavioral program in Massachusetts. And I was playing the Dope cover of "Fuck the Police," which Bone Thugs and Harmony had also covered. And the kid only knew the Bone Thugs and Harmony version.
Oh, shit.
So I'm playing the Dope version in my car, because I'd take him to an appointment or something. And he was like, oh, they copied. And I'm like, okay, well, it's not a copy. It's called a cover. And second, this isn't the original. The original is by a group called NWA. They're like, no, the original is by Bone Thugs and Harmony. So then I dropped him off, tied bricks to his feet, and threw him in one of the cranberry lakes.
And that's why I work in a jail.
And that's why now I work with adults in a jail. All right, are we ready to hear the next three?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Oh, that's right. So it was like a fucking ninja, a dragon, a dump truck, then two other, like a fucking dump truck for some reason. What is it, a bunny? And then this is just dumb. No wonder this series is so goddamn awful.
Well, my kid loves it.
So there you go.
My kid loves it. So apparently it's very appealing for 7-year-old girls.
Well, that is fantastic. I'm gonna be that cool one day.
Okay.
This sounded weird.
Yeah, that did. All right. Speaking of weird, here's the next three.
Chi sei? Goku non lo sai, però presto lo scoprirai e poi tu scomparirai. Andrai nell'immensità, laggiù, incontro all'oscurità, finché tutto cambierà. Una nuova realtà con le sue verità scaverà nel tuo passato e guardando più là il tuo cuore saprà ritrovare Dragon Ball. What is my destiny in Dragon Ball? Io so che tu lo sai, Dragon Ball. Perché non c'è un drago che sia grande
Dragon Ball.
What is your destiny? What's your destiny? Tu non ce lo dirai. What's my destiny? Ma guarderai e già lo sai che il buio vincerai. Corri ragazzo laggiù, vola tra l'alberi blu, corri l'aiuto di tutta la gente dell'umanità. Corri e va,
Okay. Just a couple of things I want to weigh in on before I turn it over to Coop. First of all, that was What's My Destiny Dragon Ball, which I assume is from Dragon Ball Z. And then the next one was Oop Op Orc Means I Love You. No. The next one is G Robot di Asia. My grandmother would be so mad at me right now. I don't know my fucking Italian. G Robot D'Agostino, Won't You Move Closer to Me? And remember that, Jesse? Oh, please, Mr. D'Agostino, won't you move closer to me? Remember that?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
You don't remember those old D'Agostino commercials?
Did I say nope the first time?
So do you remember the D'Agostino commercials?
What the fuck is a D'Agostino commercials? Was it from '87?
Is this ice
Is that
cream?
why I don't know what it is?
Fucking youngins.
Sorry,
Goddamn.
I
love
didn't
doing that.
I'm sorry I didn't grow up in your local TV market, Mark. I kind of live like hundreds of miles away from New York City.
I'm
sir.
gonna look this up because I can't believe neither one of you got the D'Agostino commercials in your TV markets.
It's like fucking
I'm
Bob's
sorry,
Market
I
in the
didn't-
corner.
I didn't get to watch as much television as a kid as you think I did. It wasn't until I was 10 that I got my own television, because before that, Mama made me watch the news.
Ooh.
Okay, and then that last one was I'm assuming the Italian version of Gem, because that definitely was not the American Gem. She's truly outrageous, truly outrageous.
Not.
Let me tell you what, the Oop Up Orc Means I Love You, Please Mr. D'Agostino, Move Closer to Me. Of those three, my favorite. That's an
Yes.
awesome track. Like,
I agree 100%.
Don't let the fact that I'm tearing down the name fool you. I really enjoyed listening to it. Like, independently of, whether or not I'm familiar with any of this, I enjoyed listening to that track. And, the Gem one and the Dragon Ball one weren't bad either. All right, Coop, educate me.
Interesting. Okay, so the Dragon Ball one, it is actually just Dragon Ball, because I don't know if you knew this. The Dragon Ball was actually...
I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I don't.
That's fantastic. Let me push up my... See, I'm going to push up my nerd glasses, which is funny, because, like, the shit I'm reciting... Like, some of this stuff, like, if you know anime, you know it, but if you don't, I sound like I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Dragon Ball actually is just called Dragon Ball. At least the manga was. The only reason that Dragon Ball Z was more popular here is because it's more of a fighting anime rather than Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball, which has more of a comedy edge to it. The hard, the sci-fi, and the powerful fights. Yeah, the beating each other's asses. That was more popular in the '90s because it's extreme.
Extreme!
Yeah. Extreme. And so I've never heard the Italian. I've never heard Italian Dragon Ball. That is very interesting to me. Yeah, because I've heard Rock the Dragon, which is the original one for the U.S., the Funimation dub at least. That was one of my favorites because it's just so '90s. And then Chala Head Chala, which is the Japanese intro, is just iconic. This one's interesting. It's one that I've never heard before. The next song is actually for Steel Jig, or as I just know it as Kotetsu Jig. I just know it more for the Tokusatsu series from the '70s, which is full of cheese. But when I was just reading up on Steel Jig as we were talking. Interestingly enough, it actually talked about the international transmission, and it was very popular, widely popular in Italy, and still has a huge fan base. What I was not aware of, actually, is that the show's never been released in the U.S.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. I've never heard of Steel Jig at all.
Well, you wouldn't unless you got deep.
Yeah.
Like,
I ain't deep in them angles.
Whoa. It was really popular in Italy and then Latin America because they had a lot of giant robot shows. Funniest thing ever though, like most random anime that was popular somewhere I would have never thought of. There's a soccer anime called Captain Tsubasa, which is about this kid who's the captain of the soccer team. It just follows him from, being a child to when he plays in the pros. Where was it popular, you ask?
USDA choice beef shoulder for lemon broil.
That was like the one anime they got in the 80s was fucking Captain Tsubasa. So like, there's a huge fan base. It's actually it's interesting to see. As we're going to start going through this, some of these anime were popular. Were more popular overseas. You'll see that with Fist of the North Star, Saint Seiya. like they have huge fan bases, like especially in Latin America or in South America. Compared to here, they don't, because what we were releasing in like the late 80s, early 90s was definitely not this. You know, it was much more cheaply made, like Transformers. You know, the things that Mark just hails as the greatest shows of all time. Actually, no, I really like Transformers, but like that animation got it got cheapo.
So I just sent you guys a D'Agostino commercial that has that jingle at the end. Please, Mr. D'Agostino, move closer to me. And I guess it would make sense that you guys have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, because it was a New York City grocery and not a North Carolina or...
I just guessed 1987, and I was right.
Very good, Coop. All right, Jesse, anything more you want to add to this?
Oh, no, just wanted to go ahead and echo. I felt the same way about the...
No, not about this. No, not about this. I mean about D'Agostino. I'm sorry, just kidding.
Oh. Yeah, let's talk about the grocery chain right here on the Metal Hammer of Doom. Yeah, the Jeek Robot, I that was one of the first tracks I really, really enjoyed off of here. And again, my notes were I never heard it, but damn do I dig it. So
okay.
Bag. All right, she got the recipe. They're throwing in the ham.
So while I'm playing the next couple of tracks, Jesse, you should play that D'Agostino commercial I just sent you.
Oh, okay. I'll go to it.
Yeah,
beef shoulder with London broil.
Yeah,
good through 1987.
All right, see. I mean, back in 1987, D'Agostino was the shit. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next.
So shit that you remembered all the jingles.
That's right,
and the jangles.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next three songs. This is Pokemon, David Nomo, and Prince Valiant.
La libertà è un'avventura che non finisce mai, e la vivrai con ogni Pokémon che acchiapperai. Lancia la tua sfera, catch 'em all, gotta catch 'em all, try to Pokéball, gotta catch 'em all. Dai, vieni qua ad allenarti e divertirti con noi. Vedrai che poi molti più Pokémon saranno tuoi. Allenandoti diverrai il più bravo e tu lo sai. Gotta catch 'em all. Avvicini dell'avventura, ci senza paura. non c'è più. Un'avventura stupenda, proprio la corte del grande Re Artù. Tra incantesimi e misteri, mille insidie e nobiltà. Re castelli e cavalieri, arriva un giorno il principe Valiant.
All right. First of all, that last one sounds like a fucking Christmas song. Okay.
Like Dominic the Italian Christmas donkey, hee haw hee haw.
I mean, it doesn't sound like the greatest Christmas song I've ever heard, but it does. Glory to the world, the newborn man. I ate a sandwich. Yeah, whatever. However it goes. But Jess, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah. You could feel you could feel kind of like the folk elements coming out of it. Also,
I'll say that Prince Valiant one. That sounds that had a Christmas. It sounds just. It's not Joy to the World, but man, that one. You know. Yeah,
that one with the bookie in it.
What?
I remember.
Like you're coming on to it. You're like, wow.
No, you know what I'm talking about, though, right?
I guess. I mean, I guess you could mistake it for a Christmas song.
I think it just had like the jingle sound to it that you hear in most of your Christmassy music.
But no, it's a specific one. Joy to the world and fuck all the men. I don't know how it goes.
Joy to the world and fuck all men.
Fuck all men. This sounds like a very interesting porno, and I don't know when to stop looking.
You know what I'm talking about. You're gonna hear Christmas music this season, and you're like, and you're gonna hear that. You're gonna think "Joy to the World," fuck all the men, and then Prince Valiant.
Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
That's what I'm here for. What is Prince Valiant actually from, Robert?
Okay, so I had to do some research because I had no effing idea. It was actually an American TV show from the early 90s. It was, I don't know when it was imported over. I actually read that they finally just released a DVD set of it, but it follows, it's more or less the story of King Arthur rising to the throne, but in like a family-friendly way. So it sounds kind of shitty.
It was on the Family Channel from 91 to 93 and a total run of 65 episodes.
Had that long run.
Was the show called Prince Valiant?
Yes. Yeah. Legend of Prince Valiant, according to this.
So can I tell you how many times I've said that, and all I can think of is Prince Valium from Spaceballs?
Hey, here. Hold on a second.
Oh, no.
Of that D'Agostino, of that dag. Recipe for fun is in the dag bag. Love those veggies. Oh, love that meat. Enough of this lovemaking. What do you say we eat? So please, Mr. D'Agostino, move closer to me.
USDA choice beef shoulder for London broil. $1.89 a pound at D'Agostino.
It's a little piece of my childhood right there. I'm so happy right now. Thank you, Jesse Starcher.
Oh. Very welcome. There we go. Sorry about that.
I was like, oh.
My side.
There we go.
Awkward silence.
Did you hear me praising you, by the way?
Yes, I did. I figured I'd let at least our listeners know what in the hell you're talking about. we had to figure it out as well, so...
yeah. Mr. D'Agostino. I love it. It's the best thing I've heard so far tonight. All right.
Yeah, so, like, fucking Pokemon, by the way.
Yes.
Like, they had Gotta Catch 'Em All in there, so that made me happy.
I don't know. I get annoyed that, like, pick a fucking language already. You know, like, there's, like...
Italian. They're going to drop some English in there.
Yeah, fucking Italian, Gotta Catch 'Em All. Fuck you.
You know what? Like, it was a pretty cool theme. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I still love mine. I'm gonna be the very best, but I'll take it. Though I didn't realize, I was just watching a video on YouTube today that Pokemon has like over 1,000 episodes. And I'm like, god damn.
Of the whole franchise, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, across like all of it. Because I've got like DVD set to like the first 60 because that's my shit. Even though it was still like, you know, kind of animated on a shoestring budget. And then speaking of shows I've never fucking heard of, David the Gnome.
Yeah, buddy.
It's a Spanish cartoon.
Okay, that also had a really familiar theme to it. That I can't place at all.
The World of David the Gnome came out in 80. What was it? The original release March 4th through September 23rd, 1985. Original network was Nickelodeon. So if you were watching Nickelodeon back in the 80s, you would have caught this.
I definitely was.
Okay, you probably remember it from back then. I remember just barely remnants of it in my mind. It wasn't a show that I really liked. Do you guys remember Sebastian and
the crab?
Shit.
No, the crab?
No.
That's what I was going to say. The crab from The Little Mermaid.
Belle and Sebastian, I think it was called. I think it was called Belle and Sebastian. That was about the same time I was watching. Now, see, I got to look it up. About the same time I was watching Nickelodeon because I think it was on at that point in time.
God, the only thing I remember from Nickelodeon is fucking Danger Mouse.
Oh, man, that's a great, great show.
That was a great
Holy
show.
Shit.
And then Netflix redid it.
Did they?
Yeah.
You can't do that on television.
That's another really good one. Oh, my God.
Getting to the end of this album and the King Arthur and the Knights of Justice theme, we're going to get to that later. I'm popping for this.
Okay.
All
right. Well, I'll tell you, out of those three we just listened to, David the Gnome's my favorite.
Really? Like, David the Gnome just kind of felt like, I guess maybe it's just because the style of it was more of a, I got more of, not as much of a folk vibe of it as I did from Prince Valiant, but I was like, It might have been also that I looked up Prince Valiant. I looked up David the Gnome and went, oh, fuck. But, like, I know I've been spoiled by, like, lavish, multi-million-dollar Japanese productions, but I was like, come on, guys. This reminds me of that, what was it, the Tootsie Pop commercial from the 70s that they play?
Oh, yeah.
About how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll Center of a Tootsie Pop?
All right, am I alone in thinking that was a very homoerotic commercial?
Yeah.
Fucking dead silence, awesome.
I think you're
anal joke.
You're just projecting onto this.
Trick or treat your anal, Jesse.
Trick or treat your anals. Woo!
God, I don't listen. This is what I get for not listening to our shows.
Metal Hammer of Doom Extra every Monday through Wednesday when an upcoming show. Only 7 minutes of your time. That's all it is usually.
We just want to trick or treat your anal a little.
Wait till we get to the Rocky IV soundtrack. Some of the greatest commentary ever. When Robert Petra, whatever the hell his name is, getting ready to stick a finger in your butt, you better be ready.
Well, I mean, you better be ready, because if not, you're going to yelp and you're going to look like a baby back bitch in front of all the other steroid users.
I'll tell you right.
I'll tell you,
Coop, there's no easy way out, okay?
There's no easy way out.
I mean, there is an easy way out. You just got to kind of brace for it to pull it out, you know?
There's an easy way out, but you're not going to like it.
Stop clenching.
Remember, relax. You're just gonna make it hurt.
I have to wonder if there's people who listen to our shows. It's like, you want to hear an hour and a half of guys just making gay jokes and occasionally playing a metal song.
You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm coming in dry.
Fist up to the wrist. All right, here's our next three songs.
Oh, nice. Never heard that one. Wow, I've not seen any of this Aquaman trailer. Interesting.
Sto ragazzo tredicenne salverà una acrobata del circo della stessa età, da una banda di cattivi che non molla mai, che avventura favolosa tu vivrai. Il mistero della pietra azzurra, il mistero della pietra azzurra.
Questa pietra eccezionale brillerà, sempre pericolo imminente la minaccerà, forse proprio per la sua particolarità, che fabula tutti quanti chi lo sa.
c'è niente più potente del mio Beyblade. Non c'è niente più avvincente del mio Beyblade. Costruito per me, il più forte non c'è, ogni lancio con te sarà il migliore. Non c'è niente più potente del mio Beyblade.
Alrighty. So far, I mean, look, as far as progressive metal albums go, without, all the, foreknowledge of the anime and whatnot, it's all very solid, it's all very good. Trick or Treat's a hell of a band. These guys know how to play their instruments. So that being said, I'm going to take a guess that Beyblade metal is Final Fantasy.
Negative.
No.
Mark, let me take the helm here real quick, Coop, and then I'm going to turn it over to you. But Beyblade, I believe, was a toy at first.
Yep.
And there were like these spinning top things that you basically bought these things and you battled your friends with them. And this is recent, dude. I'm talking like, and just from what I could see, the cartoon series was 2010. So that's how recent we're talking. But yeah, the cartoon series is obviously based off of the toys that you use, which is just a weird concept for it. But they could do anything.
So, wait, what you're telling me is that the toy are spinning tops, and they made a cartoon out of spinning tops.
It's just like Pokemon. You use that top to battle the other guy's top and see who wins. And I'm sure there's probably trainers involved and all that stuff. I have no idea, but I've never watched the series.
Fuck out of that show.
Did you really?
Yeah, I mean, no, this show is from like the early 2000s.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, it started in the early 2000s. It's still going. So what it is, you got a spinning top, you got a launcher, you got a little thing that you mount it on, you got a ripcord. You both launch it into the stadium, and you fight until the other one is stopped. I've almost put out a few kids' eyes playing it before because I was really good at ripping it really hard and making it bounce, bounce immediately.
Oh, I bet you were good at ripping it hard.
Oh, yeah, especially like ripping my ass. Like, I'm great at that.
Oh,
I had a girl at work do that to me.
She ripped your ass?
She fucking farted, and I walk up, I'm like, what's that smell? And she goes, it's me. I'm like, and you're standing in front of the change drawer that we use to, give change if you need ones or fives or tens or whatever. And I'm like, you bitch. So I had to go face first into her fart. Oh, she did. She called me like 20 minutes later to apologize again. I'm like, see, if she weren't one of my underlings, I would have said, it's fine. I'll eat your ass, but, not like this.
Oh. I'll get Mark going.
It can't be damned.
Boy.
Okay, so I'm apparently a fucking old man who doesn't know anything, so let's move on from Beyblade Metal. What is Rey Mysterio Delivers Pizza?
Okay, so Rey Mysterio Delivers Pizza is actually Nadia the Secret of Blue Water. It was a
What?
That is the original anime. That's the original Japanese. The English title of it is Nadia the Secret of Blue Water. It's about a girl who's like a circus performer that is traveling the seas to try to get back to her homeland.
Okay, sure.
You got that all from the song, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of Studio Gainax's, one of their earlier shows. I think it came out in 93, 94. It was really well animated, especially for the time, because they had some really, really good talent involved with it, even though it got kind of fillery in the middle. It's still really fantastic, and actually a fairly popular show by all accounts. It just didn't really, get off here because we just suck. We got an anime too late, I tell you.
All right, and lastly, what is Daytarn 1, let alone Daytarn 3?
Daytarn 3 is actually Yoshiyuki Tomino's. One of those anime he did before.
You're
Gundam.
not saying words.
The guy's name. He's an old man that hates everything, and everything he releases is poop. But it's just everything he's released since 1984 has been really bad. Kind of like Frank Miller. Except Frank Miller at least got until 93 before he shit the bed. I think they have a very similar worldview now that I think of it. Oh yeah, but Daytarn 3, I was just reading up on it because I know about Zambot 3, which came out after it because it was one of the first instances that the director Tomino, he loves to kill everybody by the end of the show. Like, straight up, like, fucking George R. R. Martin, like, owes this guy money. It's like, his favorite thing to do is, like, towards the end of the show was to kill the entire cast.
Oh, wow.
So this was the show right before that, but it was funny because unlike a lot of his later shows, it was really grim. This one was actually slightly comedic in tone, but it was not popular in Japan in the slightest. But upon my reading, it was very popular in Italy. Like, super duper popular in the early 80s in Italy.
Huh.
Which actually, if you look at the album cover, you can see Daitarn 3 all the way in the back of, like, the back. Because after looking at the album cover a lot more and more, I'm like, oh, this is all the references for everything.
Okay. Yeah, they did something similar with Mystic Prophecy, where they stuck a caricature or a drawing of all the artists that they were covering all in this one big bar room. It looked like Elton John's on the piano while the singer from Monster Magnet is vacuuming this asteroid and just all sorts of crazy stuff on the front of that thing. I do want to hop in here real quick and say that the first song, which is the Nadia Blue Water song, this is where I wrote.
You mean Rey Mysterio delivers pizza?
Rey Mysterio in the case of Dreadheart.
Something out in the sky. What's he got? He's got my dinner.
So, this is where I wrote down. I realize now that for me, I was walking into this album expecting a lot of nostalgia, and I got shit from that.
No,
but
you got none of that. You got somebody else's nostalgia. It's just not yours.
It's like a different culture or something over there in Italy. I have no idea what the hell's going on.
Let me say this. I've never been happier to have Robert Cooper on this podcast.
Explain this shit.
Because I would be lost right now, and you know,
the quickest podcast in our history. It would be like, what's this song about? Fucking robot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me read the internet.
Here's the thing: is I legit tried to like look this stuff up. I couldn't find anything. So I'm really, I mean, in all seriousness, I know I make a lot of sarcastic jokes here, but I'm very appreciative you deigned to give up whatever vagina you could have had tonight to come on this podcast and talk nerd with us. So I appreciate you, Robert Cooper.
Absolutely.
No problem. For I gotta at least put the bros in front of the hoes once in a while, right?
Once in a while. All right. This next three, I at least can read them because they're in English, but I don't know what they are. I'm sure the first one.
Actually, the third one is not in English.
Well, part of it is. Maybe no. 2 out of the 3. God damn it. So here we go. The first one is definitely not a Rob Zombie track. Nobody's fucking in a UFO on this one.
Everybody, they released a T-shirt of that.
Sweet.
Not surprised.
Yeah. My buddy Nick, the one that needs to be on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He sent it to me because all right.
L'Himalaya nella fredda notte buia, misteriosi riti di sacralità. Si sciolgono le nevi, si radunano anche gli avi infernali, sacrificio si farà. Dopo lungo sonno s'alzerà. Robin Hood. Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood, tu fai sempre breccia se dall'arco scagli una freccia. Robin Hood, Robin Hood, Robin Hood, combattiamo la giustizia insieme a te. Occhi da birbante, cuore scintillante, sguardo accattivante, il tuo nome è Robin Hood. Se salvi gli innocenti sia dai prepotenti che dai delinquenti, il tuo nome è Robin Hood. Robin Hood, un eroe come te non si trova in tutto il mondo. Robin Hood, un eroe come te qui con me nel fino mondo. Con la mai, mai scorderai l'attimo, la terra che tremò, l'aria si insegnò e poi silenzio, e gli avvoltoi sulle case sopra la città senza pietà. Chi mai fermerà la follia che per le strade va? Chi mai spezzerà le nostre catene? Chi da quest'incubo nero ci risveglierà? Chi mai potrà? Sei tu, fantastico guerriero, sceso come un fulmine dal cielo. Ken, sei tu, il nostro condottiero, qui nessuno al mondo adesso è solo.
All right, hit me with that education, sir.
Okay, so Devilman, it's a 1970s Go to Guy manga that's actually really horror based. It actually has a lot of body horror. They just made a new version of it, and it's on Netflix called Devilman Crybaby, and it is fan-fucking-tastic. But the 70s cartoon, he's more of a, almost like a, trying to use words that normal people understand. Like a superhero.
Okay.
Yeah, he's more like a superhero. Like, he transforms into Devilman and beats the bad guys. Less about the apocalypse and religion and weird shit. It's much more straightforward. And I imagine it was big in Italian? Italy. Wow, I just fucked that one up. Imagine it being pretty... Yeah, so that's the first one. Second one, get this. I didn't know there was a Robin Hood anime. That was a Japanese-Italian co-production. But it totally was. So I imagine that's why it would be very popular in Italy, because I already like anime. They would probably, it'd probably be a little more geared towards the Italian state. And then the third one, one of my favorite anime that I really need to finish, but I have a lot of love for it, Fist of the North Star. I'm sure we've all heard of it, right?
I've seen that one.
Holy shit.
I know.
I knew from looking at it that I was like, Ken, okay. I'm like, okay, I can't speak Italian, but that looks like Guerrero, so that's Warrior. Yeah, that's going to be Fist of the North Star, or Hokuto no Ken, as it is called in Japan. It's a Fist of the North Star theme. He wanders the wastelands of 1990X and punches people, and they explode. That's Fist of the North Star, and then cries manly tears every episode when somebody he tries to save dies.
No.
Fucking love Fist of the North Star so much. I actually bought it on Blu-ray for all of $40, even though I found out that the reason I could get it so cheap is because they didn't upscale anything. They just put the regular standard definition episodes on a Blu-ray. So it's 140 episodes on 3 Blu-rays.
Nice.
I'm like, goddamn.
Yeah,
But yeah,
they They fucking compacted that shit.
Oh yeah, it's pretty great. But like, yeah, I really dug the Fist of the North Star theme. Robin Hood felt very Robin Hood, and then Devilman. I'm like, yeah, okay, like it all felt thematically correct for what I know that it is.
Okay. I don't have a whole lot to add here. All I can think about is Rob Zombie. Devilman, Devilman,
Devilman calling, Devilman calling in my head,
yeah. So they made an Everyone's Fucking in the UFO t-shirt.
Yes, like Nick sent it to me, and it was like it's like the UFO fucking the girl from behind, and pretty much him climaxing right there, like on the with the shirt.
And I'm googling.
Oh my goodness!
Everyone's
like yeah, the alien.
Everyone's fucking in a UFO. Everyone's fucking. You guys don't need me to continue the show.
Everybody's fucking in the UFO.
In a UFO.
Like I'm telling you, that is still one of my greatest Christmas memories. After us watching Christmas slasher films, like I'm like, Nick, check out Everybody's Fucking in the UFO. So we're watching like that and Teenage Rock God, like as the clock strikes 12 on Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas.
And then I put on Aurora Borealis, which is this really fucking awesome black metal band, and it's just sitting there just like screaming. And his girlfriend's just looking at me. Like, what the fuck?
Jesse, you may as well like weigh in here and talk because I'm not going any further till I find this t-shirt.
Whew, I don't know if I have much to say. I could tell you my note.
For Star?
I've never watched it. I've heard of it. But when I was looking at the name of the song, it said Kin to Guerrero or whatever it was. So my notes were, I'm sure I'm at a loss as who Kin is or his dad. Because I thought it was Kin the second. But I think it's Kin Il Guerrero or whatever.
Rey Mysterio.
And then we have Devilman, which I put, I have no idea what the hell this is. I can't believe they would name a cartoon or call a cartoon Devilman. But then I got to realizing, hey, this is anime. Anything goes. And I like what you said about how it feels true to the, the source material, I guess you would say. For Robin Hood, I felt very much like, yeah, this is definitely a song about Robin Hood. So I don't have a whole lot to say about those three songs other than Robin Hood.
Like on a scale of, like, how bad do you think, like, do you have any hope for the new Taron Egerton Robin Hood?
I didn't even know much about that. I think Mark brought it up last time.
Jamie Foxx's Little John.
Okay.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I like Taron Egerton just fine, but his look is much more for the guy Eggsy from Kingsman. Like, he looks like a chav. He looks just supposed to look like a chav. That's all I can see him as.
Okay, so I'm gonna send you guys something without telling you what it is.
Sure. I've seen the shirt.
No. First of all, I can't find that shirt, but I found something better. I need you to see it sight unseen.
Well, let's take a look here.
All right. Well, let me look for that fucking link.
Yeah, you send me the link to your thing, and I need you to see what I just sent you.
Oh no!
Oh, yep. I found. Nick gave me. I found that.
That's horrible. Wait a second. $20.99. $5.99 shipping.
Now that you've all seen it, there's a T-shirt that has a picture of Bill Cosby that says, "Look, either we fucking or I'm fucking." Nice.
Oh no, I did not see this yet. Hold on. Let me send the link to this.
All right. While you're doing that, let's go ahead
and.
There are a
I
lot.
Just sent it. Oh, I sent you guys a link.
Oh, sweet.
Let me see this.
This is good podcasting. Yeah.
Hey,
all right.
everybody.
This is good podcasting. Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, let's see. What is either we fucking or I'm fucking? Oh no. Oh no. Let's see.
Look at that alien dick. I mean, just look at it.
Yes.
Oh wow! Wow, Jesse. It took me a second time to see what that was. I didn't even notice it at first.
That is horrible.
Oh, everybody's fucking in a UFO.
I mean,
well, that one will work.
Poor alien. I don't know.
I mean, they're both aliens, so
true. I mean, but yeah. As for an O face, the alien gets a -1.
And I'm sending this to my wife. And this is
hey, podcasters, look at us.
Like,
Take notes.
Like how did that? I guess I shouldn't wonder too much. I'm like, man, I guess he timed it just right. Get that in just to get right there.
I need this shirt for Christmas.
I mean, she's gonna get on her hair and she's gonna punch him in the face. I don't care how. Women don't like that shit.
I need a everyone's fucking in a UFO T-shirt.
I say everybody's fucking in the UFO.
All right, who wants to end this podcast? I do. Let's hear our last four. Now, okay, I'm gonna take a wild guess on this one. Diablo. Yeah, we have 4 songs left. We're gonna play them all, and then we're gonna end this. Diabolique. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Diablo. No. Well,
damn it!
I watched Diabolique. I've never seen it.
So Diabolique is it's his own thing. Okay. King Arthur, the Knights of Justice, we already talked about. Let It Go is from Frozen. Pegasus Fantasy. Final Fantasy?
No.
Damn it! What's Pegasus Fantasy?
Okay. Have you ever? Yeah, no. Pegasus Fantasy is from Saint Seiya, which is the super big. Like there was this trend in the '80s, which Ronin Warriors was one of them. They had 3 different series. It's pretty much pretty boys in armor that beat the fuck out of each other. Like it's pretty violent and kind of bloody. And it was super huge in Italy, super huge in Brazil. We didn't end up getting it until 2004, and they pushed it as like Knights of the Zodiac. But you're trying to push 1989 animation in 2004 and put it on a shitty time slot. What do you expect?
Yeah, I ain't gonna do so well.
And did you ever see King Arthur and the Knights of Justice?
Never.
No, I've never seen any of this. I've seen Frozen.
Like, okay.
Holy shit! I'm looking at the synopsis right now.
Okay, so when I was a kid, like my stepdad, like I was a real young kid, I went to my dad's house and I wouldn't be able to watch it. So my stepdad said, "I'll record you the entire Fox Kids block this Saturday." And like that was the only episodes that I had of like The Tick and Batman the Animated Series and Gargoyles. So I watched that tape like fucking 15 times, you know, growing up. And this was one of the shows on there. It is about a team of football players that are transported to Arthurian times, and they have magic powers, and they are the Knights of Justice.
That's great. That is a great concept.
And the theme song, like I remember hearing the theme song, and it is one of my favorite theme songs. That is just metal as fuck. So like when I was listening, and I'm like, "Holy fuck! It's the actual theme." I almost fell out of my bed here because it's like that's one of my favorite themes ever because it's just fucking metal. And the show, even though it's kind of cheaply animated, it's interesting. Good old '90s cartoon. Gotta love them, including Double Dragon. I like Double Dragon.
All right,
in the movie.
All right, here we go. Everyone's fucking in the this is Diabolique, King Arthur and the Knights of Justice, Let It Go, and Pegasus. Pegasus.
I'm like, wait a second.
No, I promise.
Pegasus Fantasy.
Dopo un altro colpo, tu ed Eva Kent vi guardate intorno e nell'auto siete già un errore, un controtempo e adesso c'è la polizia, ma con l'auto nel frattempo siete già filati via. Lei non ti tradirà mai perché lei è tutto quel che è. I tuoi occhi nella notte sono fari che splendono e il bene e il male accendono. Quando affronti le tue lotte tu fai sempre tutto quel che puoi per arrivare dove
Oh.
Right through the storm, see the night, fighting evil and crime. Right through the storm, we the knights of the table round. Right through the storm, see the knights fighting evil and crime. Mighty the team of heroes in medieval times. Out of the knights of justice, putting evil down. Right through the storm with the knights of the table round. Right through the storm, see the knights fighting evil and crime. More than a team of feet. There's no glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen. The wind is howling like this rolling storm inside. Couldn't keep it in, I don't know side tried. Don't let them hear, don't let them see. Be the good girl you always have to be. Conceal, don't feel, don't let them know. Well, now they know.
Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, let it go. Turn away, it's on the door. I don't care what they're going to say. Let the storm rage on. Will never bother me anyway.
All right, that brings us to the conclusion of Trick or Treat Reanimated. Look, I'll give it a solid A. I mean, I apparently don't know fucking shit about anime, which was fairly obvious. But these were pretty cool tunes that made me want to shake my booty. So, you know, that's all that I have to say about that. Robert Cooper, you have any final thoughts or education you want to lay on us?
No, I think I actually laid all the education I could. Even though after listening to Pegasus Fantasy here, I think this might be the original Japanese one. I think.
I was thinking the same thing. Okay.
There's actually a fighting game, which, you know what? Now that we mention it, I know what I'm playing tonight. But yeah, I felt like this album, even though it doesn't necessarily bring as much nostalgia for me, just because I don't know the fucking songs. Still, I feel like it's a really well done album. And there was I was singing the King Arthur and the Knights of Justice theme. I don't know if y'all could hear that along with it. So there's that. Really, I'd give this album a solid 3.5 stars. I guess I feel like covers albums sometimes, or at least foreign language ones or ones that are based on nostalgia, really rely on the listener to have the same feelings as the band. So, I mean, there's nothing necessarily wrong with the album. It's just some of it wasn't really nostalgia for me, but it was still really, really solid. The songs that I knew, they fucking hit on. It was really nice to be able to spill some anime knowledge for one. Yeah, it was a good time. Good time.
Very good. Well, I can say that Trick or Treat has a great sound. There may not be much on here that the average American may have heard before, but I don't think you'll regret giving this a listen because there are some gems that Reanimated has, and you'll have a good time either way. I think we can safely say Trick or Treat brought one for your ass, or as we like to say, they will undoubtedly trick or treat your anal. Happy Halloween.
Did it trick or treat your anal? Huh?
Oh boy. Yeah, I've dug it. I think you got anybody that has a chance to listen to it should give it a shot. There was a lot that I came out of here. Number one, learning about, and number two, enjoying. Like Beyblade, I think was my favorite. We didn't get a chance to talk about. I didn't anyway. But I just want to say, Beyblade had a neat part in there where they had some harsh and clean screams or vocals. And I was like, man, I kind of dug that. That was my favorite track off of here. So, but other than that, yeah, man, I had a good time.
All right. And that brings an end to Covers Month all month long here on the Radulich in Broadcasting Network. We looked at... Jesse, what was your favorite covers album this month? We looked at 5. We looked at Power Glove Continue. We looked at Monuments Uncovered by
Mystic Prophecy.
Thank you. We looked at Outlaws to the End by Devil Driver. We looked at Lamb of God in their Burn the Priest costume, Legion XX. And now Trick or Treat, Reanimated. What would you say was your... What would you say was your favorite, and what was the most surprisingly took you by surprise? Which one took you by surprise the most?
Okay, Trick or Treat definitely took me by surprise because, like I said, learned a lot, enjoyed their sound. I wasn't expecting that. The favorite out of all of those is most likely going to be Power Gloves Continue.
Are you fucking really?
Yeah, dude. Me
but
and you, the one thing, we both talk about comics, we both talk about movies, we both talk about TV shows, but one thing that me and you really don't gel on is video games. I am a huge, huge fan of video games, listen to people talk about video games and watch people play video games. I know you could probably give a shit less sometimes about the Mario Brothers and stuff like that. So that might be why we're a little bit different there, but I really like Power Gloves Continue.
Okay.
What do you think? You agree, disagree, or what?
No, my favorite was Mystic Prophecy.
Okay. Yeah. That one has the absolute best track in the world, according to you.
Yeah, hot stuff, baby.
Stuff, baby.
All over your face. But the most surprising one to me was actually Devil Driver, just because I was never really a big Devil Driver fan.
Okay.
And and like I said, what I liked about this month was not only did we get a lot of covers and we had a lot of fun discussions and a lot of fun albums to talk about, but because we did the Metal Hammer of Doom Extra, it gave me an opportunity to hear some of the other stuff that these bands have done. And Clouds Over California is my new favorite song ever.
I love that song.
It's so good. The video is great. I would say of all of the Metal Hammer of Doom extras that we did, my two favorites were Clouds Over California and Suffering Bastards, just because of your reaction. Okay, I think you yelled at "I criminy" at one point.
Ay caramba!
Yeah, if you haven't listened to it, Cooper, go and listen to Just the Metal Hammer of Doom extras for Burn the Priest. Fucking Jesse's hilarious.
If talking about taking someone by surprise, Suffering Bastard absolutely gobsmacked me right upside the fucking head. And if you go to the source material webpage, you can watch our commentary along with the video up in the top right corner. So it's there for your viewing pleasure.
Yeah, ones that haven't been narfed yet by YouTube. Blocked worldwide.
Yeah.
Robert Cooper, you didn't get to spend a lot of time with us this month, but do you have any thoughts here about Covers Month? Is there something we could, if we have enough covers albums to do in 2019, something we should do again, or maybe
we can make it happen.
Lay this gimmick to rest? You want to do another October's as all covers all month long?
Of course.
Right. What if there are not new covers albums? Should I just throw up a bunch of covers albums from?
do that.
Okay. Because we're not doing just another covers show where we compete, because I'll never do that with Jesse again. Because he cheats and he lies and he said that he loved me.
I hear tears.
I'm sure you do.
Yep.
All right, what do you think?
He got his revenge.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Revenge on my show.
I got to make a phone call.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Later.
Okay. Well, I don't have to make the phone call, but I'll probably still call him. Somebody's showing him. Okay. Sorry. One of my coworkers was like, I don't know how to make a bale of cardboard. Can you walk me through it? I'm like, let me call you.
Okay.
Now I'm off the hook. Anywho, there's this podcast. I'm on it. Funny story. So we've got a podcast in about a month, Throssenblatt.
No, we don't.
Throssenblatt 4, Great Brunswick Forest.
Hang on. No, we don't.
We don't.
No, we don't.
Oh, you can't
I
make
get
that
bounced.
Coop. What happened?
It got replaced with POD.
Are you fucking kidding me? Fucking POD?
Oh, booyaka. Here's what I will do for you. We will do an extra show for Throssenblatt when you are available and can commit to a day. I'm not planning a month out and then you're like, oh, I had to fucking I had to sneak Mexicans over the border. I couldn't do it. So that's how you lost your spot to POD. But if you can commit to a day, we'll figure it out and we'll jam an extra. We'll do a Metal Hammer of Doom extra just on Throssenblatt.
I'm off. Funny thing, I'm actually off from the Wednesday after Thanksgiving to the Tuesday the following week. So I'm off that whole week. There you go.
Well, I'll tell you what. Do you want to do? I'll give you a choice. I'm gonna give Robert Cooper the ultimate choice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Do you want to do a year-end special on January 2nd, or do you want to do Throssenblatt?
Oh, that's harmful. Ooh. I don't know, because technically we could technically just shoehorn the Throssenblatt in like you were thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime during that week.
Which week?
That week I mentioned. Pretty much that.
What I missed when that was. When were you talking about?
It is the last Wednesday, so it's from I think the 27th of November. Hold on, let me look at the date.
Welcome to the schedule cast.
Yeah, I know. For once,
Okay.
it's me actually interrupting. So it's from the 28th of November to the 4th of December. I'm off that entire week.
Hang on one second.
That
Didn't you guys record on Thanksgiving because neither one of you has family you want to deal with?
Yeah.
We've done that, yes.
Okay, why don't you guys do an extra show on the 22nd on Thanksgiving? It'll just be you two.
Okay.
Jesse,
If you're up for it, Coop, I'll gladly.
I'm off.
All right.
All right, so here's the deal. So we're going to do the Hoobastank show on the 21st, and then you guys by yourself, because there's no fucking way I'm going to be able to be available for this. You guys will do the Throssenblatt show on Thanksgiving.
Which is so much fun because it's like it's like if somebody took a black metal album and took out the black metal part and just made it folky. I love it.
Nice.
All right, Jesse.
I just spent $100 American to buy their whole discography from them, so that was cool.
Oh,
Jesse,
way to support the band, Coop. That's good to hear. I love hearing that.
And it came with a cassette.
Nice.
All right, it's on the calendar. You're committed now.
All right, Dan.
Yep.
All right, so with that being said, here's what we got going on in the month of November. Our next show is actually going to be Thursday, November 8th, instead of the 7th, because we're accommodating Alexis Haina's schedule for a TV party. So the Metal Hammer of Dooms are as follows: Soulfly, November 8th, and then we're back on Wednesdays. Sick of It All, Wake the Sleeping Dragon, November 14th. Our turkey show this year is Hoobastank Push Pull. Now, you've just heard us schedule an extra Metal Hammer of Doom with just Jesse and Cooper and Nick, who he has to get on this podcast. Throssenblatt.
I probably will not be able to get him on this podcast.
The new Throssenblatt. I will not be there to make terrible jokes, but Jesse and Cooper can handle it. And then we close up November with POD circles. So which one of are you going to be able to make all these shows, or are you working?
Hey, it'll just depend on what week. Let's see. Let's look at the schedule.
This is why you lost your spot, by the way, because of this shit right here.
You know what? I'm a working girl. God damn it. So I'll definitely be able to make Soulfly, because I'll be opening that day.
Soulfly.
I won't be able to make Sick of It All.
Oh.
And I don't know about Hoobastank. They haven't released that schedule.
Okay. And you're just going to skip POD on purpose? You're just like, fuck POD.
Which one's POD? Oh, fuck POD. We'll see.
It's the 28th.
See how I'm feeling.
It was formerly your Throssenblatt spot, and I was just like, nope, fuck him. And I threw POD on there, because I love me some POD. Right, Jesse? Boom.
Dreadheart in the voice.
Here come the boom. Ready or not. Here come the boy from the south. All right.
Aha, how you like me now?
Ha-ha! All right, that's it for plugs from me. Robert Cooper, do your plugs real quick.
I did my plugs. That was about it. It's like, there's this show, and then I just found out they re-released Castlevania Symphony of the Night. So I'm totally gonna buy that right now.
Oh, speaking of which, we had to reschedule that show. That show is now. I don't know if you're gonna be able to make it to that one, Jesse. Rob, you're also invited. December 13th. We're going to be doing seasons 1 and 2.
Cool.
That's going to be on a Thursday night. Remember when I said I didn't want to work Thursdays? All right.
He has a problem, ladies and gentlemen.
So much content, so little time.
He just can't stop himself from scheduling.
All right, Jesse, take me home. Sweet home, Alabama.
Righty then. Ladies and gentlemen, go give the Radulich in the Broadcasting Network Facebook page a like to stay up on top of all the great podcasts that we have to offer. So much great content out there. We talk wrestling, we talk movies, we talk TV, we talk comics. That's my show, the Source Material Comics Podcast. Usually shows up on Monday about 9 o'clock in the morning on the feed. We just had a special Halloween 1978 episode drop today right here on Halloween. It was trivia. Oh, man, 10 questions. Mark Radulich. Mark Radulich couldn't resist from stabbing someone in the boob. And that's how we ended the show, on a cliffhanger, when he went and stabbed someone in the boob. But yes,
in the swamp.
We had a good time.
I stabbed somebody in the boob in the swamp.
We had a good time. We pit Mark Radulich, Justin Thomas, and Chris Armstrong against each other. And let's just say Mark Radulich did his best. And he failed miserably. Hence why he got his revenge on the upcoming Source Material Podcast, where it was myself, Ronnie Adams, Mark Radulich, Alexis Haina, pitching DC Hanna-Barbera stories to none other than the progenitor of the Radulich and Broadcasting Network. That is Christopher Radulich. That's right. Mark's dad came onto the podcast and act as judge, jury, and executioner. As to who won, I don't know if I gave it away, but I'm not going to. If I did, my bad.
This is a man who used the phrase "do nothing, boo boo" on the podcast.
It's great.
I'm down.
Oh, so great. But anyway, go give that give the Radulich Broadcasting Network Facebook page a like. I know I said that already. Platforms. We do Spreaker, that's where we call our home. We're on iTunes, we're on Stitcher, we're on TuneIn Radio. D's nuts, baby. Mark Radulich won't. The Deezer, that's correct. I don't know what the hell the Deezer is. I've got to go find it, but apparently it's a podcast platform. And, of course, our favorite, music-related podcast platform. What time is it, Mark? You snoring yet?
Nope.
I can't talk.
I ain't hallucinating for shit.
Spotify. You can find us on Spotify as well. Subscribe, like, all that great stuff. I'm ready to get the hell out of here, Mark. Go home, bro.
All right. Well, it's been a wonderful All Hallows Eve. Tomorrow is November 1st. We've got short of 2 months left before my favorite holiday, Christmas. We've got our Christmas show lined up. We've got our Thanksgiving shows, plural, lined up. It's a hell of a holiday here on the Metal Hammer of Doom. Be well, be safe, and behave.
Support for this podcast and the following message come from Broadway in Fort Lauderdale. Rodgers and Hammerstein's The King and I, based on the 2015 Tony Award-winning production, is breathtaking and exquisite, says the New York Times. November 20th through December 2nd. Tickets at browardcenter.org.